Okay. Oh. So we are live. Ishan joins us as well. So Devashish, Gargi, Bharat, Shomik and me. Happy Chhath Puja to everybody. Uh, that's what a lot of music and sound and all of that is going on in the entire city at the moment. So if you hear some of that, Devashish is actually joining from there, next to the Babu Ghat in the Maidan, in front of where we are, next to the studio. It's going a little bonkers. So it's quite crazy at the moment. It's quite crazy at the moment that the questions we are asking today, two very straightforward questions. KL Rahul. Is KL Rahul our opening option in the first test if Rohit Sharma is not there? Secondly, three questions actually. Is Abhimanyu Ishwaran an option at all? Is what we are asking. And third, is he ready? And third, is Dhruv Jurel ready for a middle order berth? I will start with you, Devashish Sen. Take it and we will go to everybody. You take the first question. Is KL Rahul an option for the opening slot? Yes, he failed today, but he's got the most experience.
Yeah, you answered it, Buryada. Obviously, given that the amount of experience he has, I think KL Rahul is the perfect choice as far as the opener is concerned. Given that if Rohit does these two misses out, then I think K, Indian team management should always go for KL Rahul given his experience. And we all know what Abhimanyu Ishwaran has done so far in the Australia series. So definitely, I think KL Rahul, now that he has been given a chance to open, so I think KL Rahul should open the batting.
KL Rahul should open the batting. Emphatic statement from Devashish Sen. Bharat Ramraj, is Abhimanyu Ishwaran at all looking the part? He doesn't to me. No disrespect, but he's not looking the part from what I've seen so far in Australia.
Obviously, he's a prolific run getter in domestic cricket. That one has to give credit to him. But if you really ask me, not exactly one of those cricketers that you look at as a test cricketer. But he has scored all those runs, so obviously he deserves a chance to be at least in the India A squad. He has scored some runs for India A as well. That is in the past. But if you really ask me, I'm not very sure that Abhimanyu Mishwaran is a future when it comes to Test cricket. Maybe on Indian tracks, yes, he might score some runs here or there. But if you are going to take some openers to Australian conditions, to Sena countries and all, then I'm not sure India would look at him as a Test prospect in the future.
See, if we go back to 2021, if we go back to 2021 and India were touring England and Abhimanyu Ishwaran was one of the reserves in the team, and you saw the way he struggled against the Indian bowlers at the nets, and that was when the Indian team management decided to promote KL Rahul up the order. KL went up the order, he opened the innings, and he scored a century, fantastic century at Lords also. So from that point of view, and now all in the two matches Abhimanyu has played, obviously he has scored a lorry load of runs to earn his place in the Indian team. We are not denying that, but then again there is a gap between domestic cricket and international cricket, and a lot of players. I mean, they have scored mountains of runs. Amal Mazumdar, Ashok Malhotra, they have scored mountains of runs in domestic cricket, but they failed to bridge the gap between domestic cricket and international cricket. So at the moment, on the face of it, it looks like Abhimanyu is struggling to bridge the gap. In the two matches he has played so far, three innings, I mean, he didn't look very convincing, and his batting didn't inspire confidence. So from that point of view, I think it is a given now that in the first test at Perth, India will open with KL and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Otherwise, in this game, in this ongoing India A game, KL wouldn't have been sent and wouldn't have been called to open the innings.
Ishan Shane, same question. KL Rahul, he's not scored today. 4 balls, 4 runs. Again, a failure. A lot of talk around saying Rahul's also not scored. Then why not Ishwaran? Your thoughts? Will you back Rahul because of experience? And he's just gone, by the way. Ishwaran has been in Australia for a while, so it's not as if Ishwaran hasn't. Rahul has just gone and joined. Now the counterpoint is Dhruv Jurel also went with Rahul but scored. But he did not open. That's a different matter. Ishan, where do you stand before I go to Gargi?
Yeah, a tough time, Boreda. Absolutely tough time for KL Rahul. Not had the best of form recently. Did not perform today as well on day one. I saw a bit of that match early morning. Struggled early on as well. But we are falling short of options at the moment, and the only viable option is KL Rahul. So, come that test, we have to look to back him. Hopefully, he can get some runs. He's got the most experience in Australia. He's technically most suited for Australia as well, in my opinion. So, I think KL Rahul is the only option. Abhimanyu Iswar and you as well have mentioned in the past that he's not looked the part for international cricket. Yes, domestic cricket, he might have scored plenty of runs, piled up those runs, but he's just not looked the part for international cricket. And I think that can happen at times, Boryada. I think a lot of players might be exceptional when it comes to domestic cricket, but just can't fit in when it comes to playing at the higher level or an international level. So I think Abhimanyu Iswar is not an option for sure. KL Rahul has to be backed. We have to keep our fingers crossed, and I think that's the only way to go ahead. You have to back your players. We all know that KL Rahul, once he gets going, there's no one better to watch bat than KL Rahul. So I think you have to hope that he comes good against Australia. Obviously, he's extremely nervous because he's not looking his best self at the moment at all, Boryada. He's struggling, but there is no other option, unfortunately. So we have to go with Rahul and keep our fingers crossed.
I just want to correct myself and apologize to Amal. I mean, Amal was never given a chance at international level. Actually, players like Ashok Malhotra, Brijesh Patel, Parthasarathi Sharma, they failed to bridge the gap between domestic cricket and international cricket.
Gargi Raut, is it a mental issue with KL Rahul? Is it mental? Because when you look at that South Africa knock, when you look at the Lord's knock, when you look at some of the other innings that KL Rahul has played, if anybody comes to me and says KL Rahul is not equipped or KL Rahul is not able to score, no, he has. That South Africa knock, which is just what, not even 1 year back, it was one of the best test match innings that anybody can see. But the number of good knocks compared to the number of bad knocks, sadly, the number of bad are way more. What is the issue with KL Rahul? Do you reckon it's in the mind? Because clearly it is not with talent. Gargi Rahul.
See, this is what throws us off, isn't it? Because we've seen him perform exceptionally, but we've also seen him fail exceptionally. Now, I agree with Ishan when he says that you have to, back KL Rahul at this point because he's one of your best. You can't deny that. And how long will you, not how long, but will you ignore the fact that KL Rahul is extremely versatile when it comes to the batting lineup, can give you at least 2 to 3 positions to bat at, gives you that flexibility, is good behind the wickets, has a lot of experience, and plays well. So that's where it throws you off, because we've seen some incredible things from him, but at the same time it looks like he's struggling to get off the mark. He's struggling to convert those big innings, and right now what we need from KL Rahul is to just get back in get back in the game, get back into rhythm, and start converting those knocks. It's not like he has potential, it's not like he's not done this before. He just needs to get on track and make this Australian series his redemption arc. That's all.
Devajish Sen, Tonmoy Shah very rightly says KL scored at 6 in South Africa, but as we also said, he scored at the opening slot in England. So it's not as if he's not opened in the past and not scored runs. He has. Whether it is in white ball cricket, I remember that Pakistan-India World Cup match in 2019, all of a sudden he opened and he got a 50, got India to a start. In Lords 2021, Shomik mentioned he got 100. So it's not as if he's not scored at the opening slot. South Africa, yes, was in the middle order at number 6, but what are our options? So if no Rohit Sharma, then our option is Ishwaran. Our option is, I don't know what, Gill. Pushing Gill up, which maybe not the best idea because he wants to bat at 3 and you want your number 3 batter there. And you have Sarfaraz Khan in the middle order. And we will come to Dhruv Jurel after his knock today. So if you don't play KL Rahul, Devashish, then what options do you have?
To be fair on KL Rahul, obviously he hasn't got the best as far as the team management is concerned. It's obviously batting in at the middle order, then when and then again being promoted to open the batting for India. It means obviously when you talk about a settled batting lineup, obviously you have a Shubman Gill who is now almost fixed at number 3, Virat at number 4. So it is a bit unfair, but having said that, KL Rahul has tasted success in England, and so And Indian team management is left with no options but to open with KL Rahul at least for the in the first test in pass. So literally, they had literally no options. You cannot risk Sarfaraz Khan, or you cannot promote Shubman Gill because he has a fixed batting order at number 3. So I think, and KL Rahul has, being the senior cricketer, he should he should take responsibility because at times you need to take the responsibility being a senior cricketer, and I think KL Rahul with the amount of time he will get in the middle in the practice session, I think he will he will get into perfect shape before that first test match starts against Australia.
Shumik, if I have to look at it from a dispassionate point of view, it is unfair on KL also. You are telling him you are at number 6. Rohit Sharma in the press conference said we will give him a long rope at number 6. Now, if you go and tell him no, you open. Suppose he fails as an opener, what do you say? Better? Yeah. Can you hear me? Gargi, you can hear me, right? Yeah. So the question that I'm asking Shumik is that it is unfair on him. Now, if you tell Rohit Sharma publicly said number 6 will give him a long rope. Now all of a sudden, no, go open. Suppose he fails as an opener. Will the team management give him the confidence that no, next test we will play you at number 6 when Rohit comes back? And take this question, Avi Nigam. Uh, what is it? At last 10 years, KL Rahul is not able to cement his place, etc., etc. Abhimanyu Ishwaran deserves a chance. Please, Gargi ma'am, take my question. Can Hanuma, Dhruv can open like Hanuma did. Okay, show me.
So I'm first answering your question before I'm coming to Avi's, what Avi has put forward here. The fact of the matter is that, see, it's a very valid point. I mean, every batsman wants to have a settled batting order. But this very same question I asked W.B. Raman yesterday, and he said, see, he has been around for pretty long. He has been, he is not a greenhorn anymore, and he should be able to adjust. He has been here for 10 years, so he should be able to adjust. If you are a good player and you have the experience of opening in the past, you know how to face the new ball. So you should put your hands up and be counted, given that you are one of the senior players. That there is a void, and I expected Rahul to do that in the first test against New Zealand in Bangalore, where Virat came at number 3. But I expected Rahul to put his hands up and tell his captain, "Look, boss, I have opened the innings. I will go there. I'll play at number 3." Anyway, that's water under the bridge now. Coming to Avi's question, Avi, you are absolutely right. He has been around for 10 years and he has blown hot and cold. That's why his test average is 33. But see, it's about when it's not about what you are seeing over TV. It's about the team management's assessment of a player at the nets. That's where a player is judged. And from that perspective, I mean, the Indian team management has seen Abhimanyu Sharan at the nets. You have to have that ability that will prompt the team management to say, yes, this guy is good for one day international cricket. Um, as of now, Abhimanyu has failed to inspire the confidence. So this is the case. We know Rahul is inconsistent, but we'll hope he will open the innings and at least for a change, he will be consistent.
WPL retention update. Yes, 7 p.m. Gargi and Snehashish will come to you with all the WPL retention updates, video wise and in terms of written work. So nothing major, no surprises. At least as far as I'm concerned, the major teams, Mumbai and Delhi, I don't think there will be any major surprises coming your way as far as these teams is concerned. From what I know, Delhi wants to get a wicketkeeper batter from domestic cricket. Delhi wants to get a wicketkeeper batter from domestic cricket, the Delhi Capitals franchise. That's the WPL update that I know. So that's the kind of thing that at this point in time is doing the rounds. But we will delve deep, and as I said, Gargi will come more with the WPL details with Snehashish. From what we followed, one quality overseas bowler and one all-rounder is what the Delhi Capitals are looking for. If I break it down team by team, that's one of the teams. Mumbai looks a settled side, a very very settled side. So that's I will come to the Gujarat side in a bit, but let's take some of the other questions also. Uh, Bharat Ramraj, take this one. Plenty of questions coming. One second. KL Rahul, an experienced player, is scored that what he do against Australia. No. It doesn't work like that. Priyanshu says, one of our regular viewers. I'll go to Ishan on this as well. First test team: Jaiswal, Gill, Virat, Pant, Jurel, Jadeja, Sundar / Reddy, Siraj, Akashdeep, Bumrah. Add Mukesh in the squad. He will be the dark horse. Bharat Ramraj, take that.
Yeah, you can definitely go with someone like Dhruv Jurel. The first ball he faced in Test cricket, it was against James Anderson, obviously, and the first ball he faced, he moved across towards off stump, he covered his off stump, and then left him. That itself told he has the technique versus pace bowling, and something that we saw it today as well. That he has a temperament. We saw it in the Test series, and he has the technique against pace bowling. So obviously Jurel can come into the equation if they really want to. Actually, his technique is very similar to that of KL Rahul. Jurel's technique, very classical technique, just that he might have a little better temperament. Only thing I would add is I'm not sure India would obviously. I don't think they will go with Mukesh. I guess that they will look at one. At least there will be one tall pace bowler in that lineup. Most likely it will be a toss up between Prasidh and Harshit Rana. I'm pretty sure at Perth they will go with one tall fast bowler.
Ishan Shane, couple of questions on Devdutt Padikkal. He's not looked bad. Kind of improved a bit also. Devdutt Padikkal, can he give you an option? And I understand, Devashish, you're facing internet issues. We'll come to you. If there are internet issues, we understand. It must be because of this Chhat Pujo stuff that is going on around Eden Gardens. But Ishan Shane, take that. Devdutt Padikkal, will selectors look at him from the India A squad? Sai Sudarshan, Devdutt Padikkal, can they be brought in?
Yeah, absolutely, Murad. I think it's a possibility. You can't deny that at all. I think Particle has looked decently well. Not done enough for sure to cement a place in that side, but surely there have been phases where he's played some good cricket and looked reasonably well. But if I had to place a bet, Murad, I would still go with Dhruv Jurel or Sarfaraz, because Dhruv Jurel, especially when I watched him today morning, looked a class apart. The rest of the batters were struggling with the bounce, the pace, the seam. But if you saw Dhruv Jurel bat today morning, which I did in the morning, he looked a class apart, Moriada. The shots he was playing, the time that he had on a quick wicket. So I would definitely prefer Dhruv Jurel ahead of Particle, just because of the form he's showing and just because of the temperament he's displayed, at least in this first game as well against Australia A. Not saying that Particle can't make it, but I'll still prefer Jurel. And like I've said in the past, Sarfaraz, obviously, a lot of questions have been put across towards him that he might not be able to handle the Australian conditions. His technique might not favor the Australian, the conditions which he will possibly face. But I think, in my opinion, we have to try and think about him as well, because he's someone who's logged a lot in a domestic cricket. He deserves another chance, so you can't completely take Sarfaraz out of the equation. So Dhruv Jurel, Sarfaraz, probably the first two batters that you'll think about, and then maybe after that a Particle.
Devashish, then next BCCI Secretary Anit Sadhu is asking. Yesterday you were also asking. Everybody is asking, because the names that we are getting, first we got Ashish Shelar, then we were told Rohan Jaitley, then we were told Snehashish Ganguly, then we were told Arun Dhumal. So multiple names doing the rounds. What are you hearing, Devashish Sen, as far as BCCI Secretary?
I did share a message with you, and you were just taken aback. I told you a name that is easy, and one of the newspapers carried it as well in a big way, and I don't know, but then obviously there must be some thought, but it's too BCCI politics, we know. Things can change at the 11th hour. So we are not yet sure as to who will be the BCCI secretary, but definitely there are a few names, as you have suggested, have been making the rounds. Yes, I now I can name it. Snehashish Ganguly, the CAB president, he has been tipped to be the secretary of BCCI, but I don't think so, because as you rightly said, BCCI politics, anything might happen at the last moment.
So we've discussed the KL Rahul, Abhimanyu Ishwaran bit. Let's move on to Dhruv Jurel. All of us were impressed with Dhruv Jurel today. Your thoughts before I go to Gargi on Dhruv Jurel?
I would like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see Indian team playing Dhruv Jurel ahead of Sarfaraz Khan in the first test. A simple cricket.
He says it'll be an injustice if Sarfaraz doesn't get a chance.
No,
A fit monk.
yeah, it is simple cricket reason. Like it would have been injustice if Sarfraz was dropped for Dhruv Jurel in the third test against New Zealand because he was fresh from a 150 in the second test.
First
But,
test.
yeah, in the first test, I'm so sorry. So no, second test. First test Rahul played. Second test.
He got 100 in the first, no? He got 100 in the first. In Bangalore.
Bangalore. So the thing is that when someone is scoring 150, then he deserved a chance. Although there was a school of thought, the way Dhruv Jurel batted against England earlier this year, he would have been a better option. But when someone is fresh from 150, you have to play him. Problem is that Sarfaraz's scoring area is very limited. In the New Zealand series, also when his sweep shot was blocked by Tom Latham, he didn't have a plan B, and his scoring areas are mainly behind the stumps. He is not a good puller of the ball. He is not a good cutter of the ball. So those are the two shots you require on Australian pitches. So from that point of view, and Dhruv Jurel is someone who puts a price tag on his wicket, and he understands Test cricket. Whatever limited opportunities he has got, and his confidence would be up after that 80. So I personally I would like to see Jurel ahead of Sarfraz Khan in the first test.
Bharat Ramraj, before that, Gargi Rao, take this question. Who's the captain? Obviously, Jasprit Bumrah. We need 4 pacers: Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, and what is this? Rana or Prasid? So Harshid Rana or Prasid, and 1 spinner Sundar. Take that before I go to Bharat Ramraj to technically give us his understanding of Dhruv Jurel. Gargi.
Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, Rana, Harshit Rana or Prasidh Krishna, and 1 spinner. Washington Sundar is obviously I'll take in my team. And among Rana or Prasidh, I think I'd go with Prasidh Krishna. Short and sweet. I mean, no explanations or anything, but that would be my squad.
1 second. So you're going with four fast bowlers and
Yes.
1 spinner is what you are saying.
Yes.
Okay. So that's
Risky, but
we'll debate that. We'll debate that. 4 fast bowlers and one spinner.
I
Yeah,
guess
go
I
on.
would. If I was Rohit Sharma, I would be getting sold right now.
No. I mean, that's an option. The other day we were also talking about. Today, the Nitish Kumar Reddy shot does not inspire confidence. All of a sudden, dances down, plays that, for whatever reason, plays it, that uppercut type shot gets out. Bharat Ramraj, Dhruv Jurel, are you happy, satisfied that Dhruv Jurel can make the middle order?
Yeah, obviously, I'll just add a point to that 4 pace bowlers thing. I would also go with 4 pace bowlers. Main reason is I think Nitish is a good project. It's like a project. It's like a rough diamond. He needs to be polished a little bit. And that is why I think I'll go with 4 pace bowlers, and I'll definitely, for the Perth Stadium, I'll include 1 tall pace bowler in that. So Dhruv Jurel, his first ball in Test cricket itself was impressive. As I just noted a few minutes ago, it was an quintessential outswinger from Anderson. It slanted in and then went away from the right-handed Dhruv Jurel. And obviously, his back foot loaded. He covered his off stump and left it. This is something that Shubman Gill doesn't do even after playing so many Test matches. He did it first ball of his Test career. That itself was impressive about his technique against pace bowling that came against the second new ball. And if one sees that brief innings that he played in that Rajkot Test, one wouldn't be surprised by the way he played in Australian conditions today. The only thing was maybe if he has the temperament against pace bowling, he's already shown the temperament against spin bowling, and he showed it against pace bowling as well today. And facing Scott Boland and Nesser in Australian conditions, it's never easy with a Kookaburra ball. These 2 guys are almost as good as their main fast bowlers, though they may not have the pace, but they will hit top of all the time. So facing them and scoring all those runs just tells something about Dhruv Jurel. He's definitely a player who can play as a specialist batter itself in the future in, I think, alien conditions.
Devashish Sen, Dhruv Jurel, suppose he plays, I don't know why you are smiling. You've got some news. But the story, the point that Bharat made, and more importantly, Scott Boland is the champion of MCG. And today the game was at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So Scott Boland at the MCG is always a threat. Dhruv Jurel played well. 5 for 65. If you watch that second session, he was, after Nitish Reddy got out, he farmed the strike. He was playing 4 balls. Then he trusted Prasidh Krishna for a while, did not throw his wicket away, kept plugging in, kept hitting the boundaries as well, which was excellent temperament, close to 200 balls. Devashish Sen, would you go with Dhruv Jurel, satisfied that he can do your middle order? And if you do, who keeps for you? Will you play Rishabh Pant as a specialist batter and Jurel keeps wickets, or Pant keeps wickets?
Yeah, Muriada, especially in Australian conditions, especially in Test match cricket, you always need the temperament to excel in conditions in Australia, and I think Dhruv Jurel has showed it up in this knock. So the problem here is that would you, as you rightly said, would you drop a Rishabh Pant, who has been your go-to wicketkeeper batter? Then where do you play? Means obviously then you have to sacrifice. But I, for one, would love to see a Sarfaraz Khan. If he has scored so many runs in domestic cricket, try and give him. If he fails, then you can bring in a Dhruv Jurel. But means what happens to his confidence? Means I would always go for a Sarfaraz Khan. Given that, yes, he might not be a strong with the cut shot or the pull shot, which is essential, which is quintessential to succeed in Australian conditions. But just for the sheer fact that Sarfaraz Khan, if he gets going, he can give you those quick fire 50, 60 runs and change the complexion of the match like a Rishabh Pant. I'll try and unsettle the Aussie fast bowlers. So if he has scored so many runs in domestic cricket, so just throw him at the deep end and try and see if he can succeed or not. If he fails, then you can always go back to a Dhruv Jurel and others.
So Shomit Chakraborty says Dhruv Jurel, Devashish Sen says Sarfaraz Khan. We are kind of divided here. And the choice is not about Pant. The choice is in the middle order position between Sarfaraz. Pant is your number one batter. There's no debate. He's your number one test match batter ahead of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma at this point in time. He's your number one test match batter. There's no question. So it is not about Pant. Where do you stand, Gargi Rao? Dhruv Jurel versus Sarfaraz Khan. Where do you stand before I ask Ishan? Ishan does kind of veer the Sarfaraz Khan way. He's kind of given us that hint multiple times. But I'll ask him and Bharat also. But where do you stand, Gargi Rao?
I would not want to be a selector right now. No chance. People talk about problem of plenty and having good headaches. There is no good headache. A headache is a headache. So at this point, Dhruv Jurel or Sarfaraz Khan, Dhruv impressed today. Sarfaraz Khan did well in 1 or 2 innings against New Zealand and has been doing well in domestic cricket for the past couple of years as well. So how can you ignore that? Also, Devashish brought up a point about confidence, right? You have to give these players a little bit of confidence before completely disregarding them and discarding them, because then what example are you setting if you're instantly changing out batters or young players after a couple or 4 or 5 matches? Because 4 or 5 matches does not define your capabilities as a batter or bowler. So what do you do? Because both the players are doing so well, both the players have impressed us, but I would go for Sarfaraz.
Okay. Very last, finally, she moved from her diplomatic kind of this thing to taking a position. Not bad. Ishan Chhane, where do you stand?
Sarfaraz Khan, I think even though he's not looked as convincing in the last 2 innings, getting out to a full toss will not go well in a lot of people's minds. But I would still believe that he deserves one more opportunity in Australia. Just coming back from the same fact that he's toiled in domestic cricket, he's gotten those runs, and he's out of the Mumbai stage of cricket as well. The Khadu's nature. So I think 1 innings, 1 test match in Australia, he deserves Boryada for sure after all the effort he's put in. So not sure if he's going to perform, but he deserves that opportunity for sure. That's why I'll go Sarfaraz Khan. If he doesn't perform in this test match, then maybe we can get probably a Particle or a Dhruv Jurel into the side. But at least 1 test match, Sarfaraz Khan.
Bharat Ramraj, a lot of people saying it's not about giving confidence, it's about trying to put in your best 11. Where do you stand? Ishan Chhane, is he speaking as a Mumbaikar for Sarfaraz Khan, or is he speaking as an Indian cricket analyst? Bharat, where do you stand? Yeah, I mean, I know you're
I will,
laughing. I'm pulling Ishan's leg. Don't worry. Tell me.
I will go with Dhruv Jurel only. I think he's suited for alien conditions, so I will go with him. I know Sarfraz Khan now. I think they might select Sarfraz Khan and he will play all those ramps and uppercuts and get 150 and 100 people will come after me. But Dhruv Jurel, I think I will go with Dhruv Jurel because he has the technique. His technique is very similar to that of KL Rahul. Perhaps he has a little bit better temperament than KL Rahul as well.
So where do I stand? I actually will go with Shomik and Bharat on this one. We'll go with Dhruv Jurel because of the solidity in technique. Sarfaraz Khan, no disrespect at all, not at all. But I think Australian conditions might just expose him a little bit more and dent his confidence more at the back of what has happened against New Zealand. So just for that particular reason, I would start with Jurel. He's playing, scoring runs. If Sarfaraz Khan was in that same, he should have been sent along with Dhruv Jurel and KL Rahul. I think Sarfaraz Khan should have been sent and given this India a game. He should have been sent and given this India a game. Give them more. We would have, he too would have gotten an opportunity to play in this particular match. If you could send Rahul and Jurel, you should have also sent Sarfaraz Khan, because it would have kind of given us an idea where he kind of stands. So this is an interesting debate that's going on. WPL, again, I mean, coming back, I think some of the players who will be in good demand this time, someone like an Amanda Wellington, someone among domestic cricket, an Indian wicketkeeper, possible. Who's that? Will Sushma Verma get a good team again? We've got to wait and see. So some of the names that I am getting, Verma, Vinavi from Goa could be another possibility there. Praneeth, team for first. He's given a team. Shomik, you can take that. KL, Jaiswal, Gill, Virat, Pant, Jurel, Jadeja, Nitish Reddy, Akashdeep, Bumrah, Siraj. So no Washington Sundar, which is the one standout. I think one player you've got to put in that Perth overspin is Washington Sundar, plus his batting. That's the one disagreement I have with this team.
But I am going with this. This is my team also.
This is your team, Nitish Reddy?
Nitish Reddy over Washington.
Interesting. Praneeth and Shomik.
As because it is Perth.
Okay.
If it were Adelaide or Sydney, I would have gone with Washi or Melbourne even. G is a drop in these days. But as because it's Perth, I would go with Nitish Reddy.
Okay. So this is a team that's kind of provoking a debate. Devashish, where do you stand? Nitish Reddy, Washington Sundar.
Nitish Reddy, I will go with Shomik Da, hands down. Nitish Reddy,
Nitish
because
Reddy.
given the conditions in part,
I think the batting is slightly weak, but Shomik and Devashish go with Nitish Reddy. Bharat, where do you stand? Washington Sundar or Nitish Reddy?
Yeah, already noted Washington Sundar I'll go with because he gets that overspin, and already noted that I would have Jurel at number 6 and pick 4 fast bowlers because at Perth I think you need 4 fast bowlers with 1 tall fast bowler at least. So that would be my lineup. I won't have Jadeja there. Only one spinner, Sundar at 7, and pick six batters with Jurel in it.
Rahul Avasthi, is Gargi high doing Boryada? Will you now elaborate your career-ending comment on Rohit and Virat? I think you put it on Twitter. So let me put this on record here. That soon after the World Cup ended on 23rd of November or 19th of November, I wrote a piece on the 23rd or 27th of November saying both of them will play the World T20. And all my colleagues here will attest. And by the way, I did not just do it in English. I did it in Bangla. I did it in English. That both of them deserve a place in that World T20. And not only did I say deserve, I said both will play. So I don't know where you got this from, that I said both of them will not. Because I was in fact getting a lot of flack for having said that soon after the World Cup that both Rohit and Virat will indeed play the World T20 and both of them deserve a position there. Coming to now, again I've taken a position that Virat and Rohit, Virat especially, the thing I said will score in Australia. All of us have taken that position. For Rohit, I've said it is about Rohit in the mind. So Rahul, I mentioned this on Twitter also, where you tried to sort of be provocative with me and ask this question. I responded to you that can you kindly go and check that soon after the World Cup was over, I'm on record, whether it's in Economic Times, whether it is in Protidin, the two papers I write for, along with the Rev Sports website, everywhere I've actually written. So 1 year before the T20 World Cup, that both of these guys not only deserve, but will play. So I don't know where you're getting this whole idea from, that career-ending thing. Yes, in Australia, if neither of them score, then it could be a problem. Then it does become a problem. I'm backing Virat Kohli to get runs in all my interviews. MSK Prasad, the other one that I did. Who did I do with? 2 or 3 interviews that I did
Sridhar.
since. Sridhar, I've backed Virat Kohli to get runs. For Rohit Sharma needs to trust his defense. If Rohit and Rohit Sharma is very strong in the mind, he's got to go back to the nets. He's got to trust his defense. White ball approach will not work in red ball cricket in Australia. I hope you've got your answers, Rahul. And yes, please ask your questions. But for God's sake, if you want to ask your questions, ask the question in spirit. If you want to be cheeky and provocative, that's not something that works really well with me, because I am one of those people who will counter, because I'm on record on some things, and I don't mind trolling at all. I've been abused and I'm used to trolling. So let's have a discussion in the spirit of a discussion.
Rohit got to go back to 2021. Simple.
100%.
He got to
100%.
go back to 2021. I mean, in England, he scored that century, 2 half centuries. But the important fact is that he faced more than 850 balls. He was ready to leave.
Exactly. I mean, and if they get it in, which is a point that Bharat and I were chatting about the other day. If they don't give him outside off, that's when you've got to trust your defense and play.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't just go bang bang. It won't work. In Australia, in a Perth wicket or a pink ball Adelaide, it's not going to work. You might get 10, 15, 20 runs. But 10, 15, 20 runs in a test match will not do anything.
And he internalized that so well when he went to T20 cricket.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. And he was given a talking to by Mahela.
Correct. And that's something we played. In fact, in that Rohit interview, next day, I don't know, Gargi, maybe tomorrow or whenever, we can play that Rohit clip where he's actually talking about this. That when I came back from England, this is actually a beautiful clip. We should have played this. We will take this clip out and play it. That what did Rohit do in England? And after coming back, what happened in the IPL when he was still leaving balls? Let's take final few more questions. Shubham Gupta, what about Sarfaraz, who should have been, what was the question? Too many questions. Gone to Oz for a practice match with Jurel. Yeah, we kind of agree. Bharat, you reckon he should have also been sent along with Jurel and KL Rahul?
Obviously, because you want to see, you would want the selectors to see how he is going against Australia bowlers, because Australia have a good attack in Michael Nesser and Scott Boland with them, and also the conditions. Red Kookaburra ball does seem around up front with a little bit of grass on the wicket. So the selectors would have seen how Sarfraz Khan goes about his business against some of the best in the business in Australian conditions, Michael Nesser and Scott Boland, and on a wicket with grass. So that would have given them clues, but that is what the selectors have decided. We can't do much about it.
Avadesh Mishra, Shomi Chakraborty, did Sachin Tendulkar underachieve?
You are redefining underachievement, mate. I mean, nothing more to say.
No, what we can say, I think someone said it the other day, that if there was DRS, he would have ended with 125 hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean, take all the Steve Bucknor dismissals out.
Exactly.
Sachin would have ended with 125 hundreds.
And this kind of bowling also, the bowlers he faced compared to the bowlers that are on offer these days, from Wasim Akram and Dale Steyn to the way things have downgraded. Overall, Test cricket, the quality, the way it has downgraded, Sachin would have scored. I mean, Sachin would have ended up with an average of 75 at least.
Okay, so new one. Yes, Bharat.
More than that. Suddenly some echo is coming.
There's an echo.
Yeah. More than Test cricket, I think in ODI cricket, Tendulkar would have scored a lot more runs because the conditions have changed. The tracks are a lot more batting friendly. First of all, secondly, you look at only one ball being used during his time. Mostly one ball being used. Now 2 balls are used. Up front, the white Kookaburra ball doesn't swing much either. Once Javgal Srinath said it in a program with Ashwin that the stitches around the ball, it's a couple of stitches are lesser now on the white Kookaburra ball. That is why the white Kookaburra ball doesn't swing much up front either. So in one-day cricket, I think he would have scored a lot more runs, especially in that format. I think he would have definitely scored 60, 65 hundreds.
By the way, just think about Sunny Bhai. I mean, he faced 71 fast bowlers in his career. He scored 13 hundreds against West Indies without wearing a helmet. In Pakistan, he faced Shakur Rana and Khizar Ayar, who are more deadly than Imran Khan and Sarfraz Nawaz, and ended up with an average of almost 51. And he didn't have the leeway to face Bangladesh, Zimbabwe. What would his average would have been?
Yeah, and, I kind of agree. Tanmay Shah, you can't compare eras, but that's the favorite this thing of all of us, right? Because you tend to ask this question. Yesterday, somebody asked me, a senior cricket administrator, that if Vivian Richards was at his peak and put himself up in the auction with his off-spin bowling plus the batting, how much would he have fetched? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, would he have fetched 30 crores? Who knows? There's a fancy. Vivian Richards in an IPL auction. Ishan Shane, take this question. No matter how much you pump up Virat Kohli like a gas balloon, the truth is he's what? The truth is his time is over. His sun has completely set. There's no hiding it. I mean, for God's sake, where are you getting it? I mean, just about a couple of test matches back in South Africa, he got a 70. Against spin, I understand. But Virat Kohli set World Cup, got a final, got a whatever 70 plus that won you the World Cup in white ball. But in red ball in South Africa, he got runs. I mean, where are you coming from? That one series, that gas balloon, etc., etc. Ishan Shane, take that.
No, the sun hasn't set for sure, Bureda. I think, everyone's a bit frustrated seeing him not perform. But with Virat Kohli set the bar so high that we've always said that even if he's had a couple of bad series, if he's not scored runs in a couple of matches, everyone starts talking that what is wrong with him. But there's nothing wrong with him. Just that the bar has been set so high that everyone expects him to perform in every match, in every series against every bowler. So the sun will definitely, be rising very soon. Hopefully in Australia, it will be a challenge, but we've all, advocated the fact that this is an opportunity again. He's always come off good against Australia, and he likes to challenge. So I'm completely against this comment, and I think against Australia we can see the best of Virat Kohli, Bureda.
I think here we speak, all of us. I think all of us collectively think that Virat Kohli will deliver in Australia, and for cricketing reasons. We are not cheerleaders here. We call spade a spade. There is a question for you, Shomit. Bumrah long-term captain?
See, as far as his cricketing credentials are concerned, he is the most valuable player in the Indian team, and he should be Rohit's natural successor. But there is a rider that, given the workload and given Bumrah's body, and he's he's 30, soon he would be 31. He might not be playing all the tests. So that is one concern for the selectors in terms of handing him over the long-term captaincy. But if you want to pick someone, and that misconception that fast bowlers don't make good captains, that is out of the window now, because we have seen Pat Cummins. So from that point of view, Bumrah is definitely, I mean, he should be Rohit's natural successor. But that workload management is the only concern, and that is the concern on the selector's mind. That which is the reason they are sort of focusing on Shubman Gill to be an all format captain going ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to provoke, but I think for Rohit going into the World Cup, Rahul Avasthi as captain was the biggest challenge of his career. So again, I stick to my words. If Virat doesn't score in Oz, don't wait. What? Don't what? Don't DNWT. What does that mean? It was the biggest challenge, but then for sports people, it is about challenges, isn't it? It has to be about challenges. It is about challenge for Rohit Sharma. Just like the World Cup was great, losing 0-3 to New Zealand is an abominable low. Face it, it is a low. It is a pretty pathetic low. Rohit Sharma will have to turn it around, and that's why we are saying that mentally he'll have to be there. He'll have to get back to red ball zone. Virat Kohli will have to get to red ball zone. See, our problem is we will either say Rohit Sharma is God, which he's not, or we will say he's a demon, which is not. We will say the same for Virat Kohli. I keep saying this. Our problem in India is we will go from one extreme to the other. We will either say fantastic, brilliant. We will use adjectives which take from the thesaurus and from the dictionary, or the other side is they're absolutely rubbish, which is not the case, boss. I mean, neither way it's the case. Gargi, take this. Avadesh Mishra, Gargi ma'am, Sundar or Ash or Jadeja? Your pick for Perth.
Isn't it obvious? Washington Sundar.
So Washington Sundar has taken a leap over Jadeja also, Ashomik. You're smiling.
No, for Perth.
No, Gargi, I think they will play Jadeja, at least for the first test.
Yeah, they will.
They will play Jadeja. You have a very good logic in the sense that Washi will offer decent batting options down the order. He will bowl his fast his off spinners also. but they will play Jadeja. And I think what is that Nitish Reddy is your fourth seam bowling option as because it is Perth, although it is not Waka, but as because it's the new stadium, but as because the nature of the pitches in part, the way the soil is there, they maybe they will be better off playing a fourth seam bowling option rather than an extra spinner in Washi. And Nitish, they will have to trust the fact that Nitish will be able to contribute something around 30 down the order. We are not expecting 100 from Nitish Reddy, but if he can score 30, 35 and can chip in and can allow a respite to the front line, three frontline seamers, that would be his job.
Okay, Delhi Capitals has announced their retained players: Jemima Rodriguez, Shafali Verma, Radha Yadav, Arundhati Reddy, Shikha Pandey, Tanya Bhatia, Minu Mani, Sneha Deepti. Question mark. That's a question mark from me. Sneha Deepti, why? Tita Shadhu. Retained overseas players: Meg Lanning, Marzan Karp, Jess Jonathan, Alice Capsey, and Annabelle Sutherland. Release players: Laura Harris, Poonam Yadav, Ashwini Kumari, and Aparna Mondol. These are the release players as far as Delhi Capitals are concerned. The one question mark, I agree with the rest of the retention. Sneha Deepti, why Sneha Deepti? I mean, from what I know, what is the logic behind the Sneha Deepti retention is something that I would want to know from the Delhi Capitals management. Rest of the retentions, I do understand. So that's the WPL update. Last few questions. No one is talking about Sai Sudarshan. We've already spoken a lot. Prithvi Pattanayak, Devashish Sen, Prithvi Pattanayak, Sai Sudarshan. Your thoughts? Should he be brought into the Border Gavaskar Trophy team?
No, we should stick with KL Rahul. We should stick with KL Rahul now that he is made to play that India match. So KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal for me to open the batting, followed by Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli.
Rahul Avasti, Boryada is 100% confirmed. No, why? Nobody's 100% confirmed about anything. The fact that I am saying whichever test Rohit Sharma misses, and he's on record saying he will, whichever test he might miss because of a family issue and his personal issue, that is the test we are talking about. If he plays the first test, brilliant, because you absolutely want your captain to play the first test and set the tone. So if Rohit Sharma is there, there's nothing better, because ultimately he is your skipper, and the skipper being there will 100% make a difference to the mentality of this team. It is Rohit Sharma's team. Make no mistake. I can also tell you Gautam Gambhir is hurting, and hurting bad. Having known Gautam Gambhir for years and years, Gautam Gambhir is hurting bad. If there's anyone who will want to sort of turn things around along with the players as much as Gautam Gambhir. So I'm actually backing India to do something better in Australia and not be blown away like many are saying. Final questions, comments. Shubham Shah, Joy Mohan Bagan. Okay, we will make a final Mohan Bagan announcement before we close. We've taken lots of questions today. Start with Bharat Ramraj. Bharat, from what we've seen today, there was quite at least the first 4 wickets, 11 for 4. It was also kind of lack of application. And explain that Nitish Reddy shot to me. That for me kind of epitomizes Indian batting. A partnership was on. All of a sudden, the guy dances down the track and plays it there. An uppercut, gets out, throws his wicket, puts Dhruv Jurel in a spot. Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, first of all, as I said, you have to consider that Australia A had Michael Nesser and Scott Boland. These two are the best, almost two of the best bowlers in Australian domestic cricket when it comes to hitting top of off or just outside off. They know the Australian conditions like anything. So you expect some wickets to go, but at the same time, so 11 for 4 or whatever, that tells that the batters up front, they didn't show the application, they didn't have the technique somewhere against the red kookaburra ball up front. So that should really be a concern for the Indian camp. But some little bit of excuse in the sense that they had Michael Nesser and Scott Ball, and these two balls always take wickets up front. But as far as Nitish Reddy is concerned, he's like a project. He's basically someone who's come from the IPL generation. Yeah, he's come from the IPL generation who likes to play shots. So his first instinct always would be to come down the wicket or do something like that. So that is where I look at him as someone whose talent has to be polished, because India need an all-rounder there. Definitely need an all-rounder for Sena conditions. He swings the ball nicely. Yes, his swing bowling skills are good. But as far as his batting is concerned, I think he has a long way to go. He averages only 20 in first class cricket, 20 or 21. So it's not like he's cracked first class cricket either.
Bharat, excuse me, Bharat has used the word project for Nitish Reddy for what, 5 times? Exactly as Bharat was a project for us to make him into a video resource. Now look at him. He's so much better. So exactly Nitish Reddy is like similar project. Bharat Ramraj was my project to get him to doing not only Twitter. Bharat was a Twitter obsessed man. To convert that into a video resource as well and a good analyst. Now look at him, so much more confident was our project and we are successful. So hopefully Nitish Reddy will also be a project that is successful. Predictions. But before that, Sunil Gavaskar's comment about captaincy. I don't agree with it. Your thoughts?
I think it's a generation thing. I mean, see, Sunil Gavaskar himself, he saw Rohan after 4 months
I agree.
after he was born. He was that 76 series, that famous Port of Spain test, India chasing 400 in the fourth innings and winning. So after, I mean, Sunny Bhai got to see Rohan 4 months after he was born.
Show me, Mahendra Singh Dhoni also did that.
Saurabh,
But
Saurabh was in South Africa.
having said that, Virat or Rohit or what, this is not.
This is a generation thing.
Plus, this is personal.
Personal. This is
I mean,
very personal.
And here I don't fault Mr. Gavaskar, but I don't agree because this is not something. I mean, there is precedence also. And Mr. Gavaskar and I, by the way, Mr. Gavaskar is somebody what do I say? I have the greatest regard.
And also you have to.
But we are entitled to disagree on.
And
matters.
also you have to take into the fact that back in those days there is no concept of a paternity leave, right?
Yeah, now
there is, and that is mandatory.
Of course.
And so society, things have changed. Society has evolved.
I try and do this, Shomik. If I place myself, Ishan is smiling. I'll go to Ishan on this. He's not yet married, so he will have a different perspective to this. But I keep asking myself this question: what would I have done? I would have wanted to be with my, for the birth of my child. That's very personal to me. So is it more important than I don't know, but this is deeply personal. Devashish can also answer. Ishan, you were smiling. What would you have done? Too far ahead in your life, but your thoughts.
Boris, I mean, it's a tough one, but I think, I would possibly go in the same, I think the same thought process where I think, like in the similar way that you're thinking, it's a tough decision to make, but I would take the same decision as you.
I mean, and Ishan, I understand. There is no right or wrong here. No one's right, no one's wrong. This is just one of those things, a personal call. And that's why I'm saying, Mr. Gavaskar, that's his opinion. I respectfully disagree with this particular opinion, but that's about it. I mean, we are all entitled to disagree. A lot of people asking about predictions. Let's get into the test match group first. Plenty of time left for predictions. None of us agree with this 5-0. So we'll see. Let's build up. Rather, what we will do is we will constructively analyze. Let's watch what happens with the India A team tomorrow. The T20 series also starts tomorrow. So plenty of question marks. Plenty of questions that will be answered. Who's saying what 800? Gargi, I can give you this one. Jurel should play in place of Kohli. You must be completely mad. On a lighter note, what is it? Whenever Bharat speaks, it looks like he's reading something. Bharat is an intellectual, so it's fine. Okay. KL Rahul को कुछ बोलो भाई. घटिया प्लेयर है, एकदम घटिया प्लेयर अगर होता ना साउथ अफ्रीका में वो 100 कैसे मारता भाई? तुम मार के दिखाओ ना, या किसी को बोलो मार के दिखाए. हमारे टीम में तो एग्जैक्टली केएल राहुल इंग्लैंड में 100 किया है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में 100 किया है, साउथ अफ्रीका में 100 किया है. 100 कितना लोग मार पाया साउथ अफ्रीका में मेरा भाई? ज्यादा लोग नहीं कर पाए. Shomik, you broke the story about KKR. Talk to about that. Devashish is in CAB. We'll take closing comments now.
See, I mean, there are some reports saying that KKR will take their home matches next season to the new under construction stadium in Tripura, which is on the outskirts of Agartala. But what we have written today, and it is confirmation from we got it from the CAB sources that CAB has written a letter to the KKR management confirming them that they would be able to host all KKR home games next season. at Eden Gardens. So Eden Gardens will be the home for KKR, and there is a love affair between KKR and Eden Gardens and Kolkata, which has, I mean, even Gautam Gambhir, after he was appointed the Indian team head coach, he came back to do a farewell video shoot at Eden Gardens. So the bond is very strong, and that would be a real shot in the arm for KKR, because playing in front of 60,000 home fans, and no other stadium can give you that kind of a vibe. So that is good news for KKR.
Gargi Raut, 176 from Venkatesh Iyer, 200 from Shreyash Iyer. Some excellent performances in domestic cricket going on, and clearly will add to the value of these guys in the auction.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know if IPL really is, something. Sorry, I said it the other way. What I was trying to say was, do IPL franchisees look at domestic cricket, or do they just look at previous IPL performances or something like that? Because that is something to consider. But at the same time, incredible performances from both. And Venkatesh Iyer said he wanted to go back in KKR, so hopefully they raise the paddle for him after these performances. Oh yes, sir.
Devashish, কোথায় বসে আছো? Mahendra Singh Gambhir is asking.
আরে গম্ভীর বাবু, আপনাকে কি বলে সম্বোধন করবো? ধোনি বলে না গম্ভীর বলে? Anyway, I am sitting at the CAB.
Ashish is at CAB. Royal Challengers Bangalore have also put out their retentions. Our usual ones: Asha Shobna, Shriyanka Patil, Smriti Mandhana, retained players: Smriti Mandhana, Elise Perry, Richa Ghosh, Meghna, Shriyanka Patil, Georgia Warham, Asha Shobna, Renuka Singh, Sophie Devine, Sophie Molyneux, Ekta Bisht, Kanika Ahuja, Kate Cross, Daniel Wyatt Hodge. These are the retentions as far as Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Before we end this live stream, I would like to show outside the Eden Garden.
কি বলছিস?
Before we end the live stream, I would like to show you the visuals outside the Eden Garden. It's a total chaos.
So তুই বাড়ি যাওয়ার চেষ্টা কর. So Devashish will have to go home, but that's about it from us. So Gargi will come back with a detailed video on all the retentions. You will see at night Gargi and Snehashish, and also pieces. We will analyze the retentions of all the franchises which we will put out as well. So make no mistake, that will be done by Gargi and Snehashish.
At the moment, it looks like swimming across the Ganga is the only option for Devashish to go home.
Go home. Yeah, he will try that. He will try that today. Where is Trisha B? Trisha B is in the US, holidaying at the moment. She went to cover the Trump versus Kamala Harris election. Sorry, joking. She went for a holiday. She will be back next week. She will be back next week. She joins on the 13th or 14th. So plenty to talk about. We'll finish now, and Gargi goes on a break from tomorrow. So we keep taking our turns. And kind of everyone, sort of takes their little refreshing breaks. That's what we do. But 30 minutes, that's a lot of Mama Rocks, absolutely Mama Rocks. Anyone who's a Mohun Bagan fan, it is his first detailed interview on Indian soil since coming. You will have Jamie McLaren on Rev Sports tomorrow. So Jamie McLaren on Rev Sports tomorrow, his first detailed interview to an Indian platform, talking about his thing about the Derby goal, comparing the Indian Derby with some of the world's greatest footballing derbies, comparing his World Cup experience with the Kolkata Derby. So Jamie McLaren tomorrow for you at 12 noon. On that note, Ishan Shahane, Gargi Rao, Devashish Sen, Bharat Ramraj, Shomik Chakraborty, and to everyone watching, do subscribe, do call, and do ask questions. Thanks for watching.